Yo, Elliot.
Hey, you got back pain? That's good. That's real good. Ha! Just a shout out to the twins. Anyway, I made this quick video because I wanted to share some ideas that are going to support you in your back pain dilemmas. So many of you send me emails and inbox messages talking about your back pain because you can't deadlift, you can't squat, you can't do anything, you can't get out of bed because you got back pain. And this is not just people who train. You know, obviously I speak to you guys on that level. You know, people who work out, people who are trying to build muscle, trying to get strong. But across the board, I mean, everybody's mama's got back pain, right? Your mama's 60 years old, she got back pain. My daddy got back pain. Everybody's got back pain. Just one of those epidemic situations. And you know, it's no wonder because we live pretty dysfunctional lifestyles. So, quick video where I'm going to go over the 3 layers of strength, 3 of my 4 layers of strength. If you're familiar with my videos, you know what I'm talking about. And if you're not familiar with my videos, there's a book that I give away somewhere here. You can click and you can download it. But anyway, so yeah, you've heard me talk about this 3 layers of strength. You know, a lot of people call me pseudoscience, pseudo-philosopher, and you know, these ideas are just, you know, they're so wild and out there. How could we possibly be more than just our flesh, Elliott Hulse, you know? So the 3 layers of strength get you to recognize that you're far more than just your neuromuscular strength. When you're in the gym and when you're living your life, it's not just the muscular system and the skeletal system, the most obvious tangible shit that most people stop with. There's also a mind that's very sensitive. There's also organs that are integrated via the nervous system with your muscular system. And we are part and parcel of a universal strength, if you will, right? So now I'm being a poet. But essentially, we're not separate from one another. What's happening to the least of us is happening to the rest of us. And that's the 4th layer of strength, which is, you know, all about serving people. You know, our whole purpose in becoming stronger versions of ourselves is so that we can contribute to the human organism, right? The racial organism of the humankind on this planet. So anyway, cut to the chase. 3 layers of strength. The very first is neuromuscular, most obvious, the one I've talked about so often, and there are 3 common imbalances associated with having back pain at the neuromuscular level. That is, the first would be a flat back or hypolordosis. This is where you have a situation where the individual has a long back that looks like the tail is tucking under. And it creates a situation where there can be posterior bulging going on, right? Your back is just so flat and it hurts all the time. The muscles are weak around that area, right? This is a person that needs to strengthen his back. This is a person who needs to strengthen his hips. He really needs to create more of a curve in his low back. There's just no curve there. It looks like long back and legs, no ass. The second of the 3 common neuromuscular imbalances is of the exact opposite. It's a hyperlordosis. This is where the low back is really excessively curved. There's too much curve there. Looks like your ass is way back there. Like you could put your wallet in your back pocket like this, right? The ass is just way up in the air. It's too far out there because there's a huge sweeping arch, a lordosis, hyperlordosis in the low back, right? A lot of chicks, I look at like a lot of young girls, they think they're sexy because they're sticking their ass out and they're walking like Donald Duck, but they're gonna end up with all types of fucked up back pain, especially because women have babies. When those abdominal muscles stretch, and you got that big curve in your low back, oh, you're gonna have all types of fucking pain. You'll be the best candidate for surgery, right? Because that's really what it's all about. It's about money. See, Elliott Hulse it gives you ideas that you really don't have to spend too much money to figure out. Yeah. A little bit of research, a little bit of personal responsibility here, folks. But you know, there's no money in that, so. And then finally, it's torsion. A situation where the spine is sort of twisted, and that's usually because there's an imbalance from left to right. See, just now I spoke about the sagittal imbalances, but now I'm talking about the frontal imbalances. So you might have one hip flexor that's really tight because you damaged your ankle several years ago. That's my situation. That causes a situation where your hip twists slightly. So now you've got like this pain on one side, right? So you might have a lateral bulge, something of that nature, where there's pain on one side. This is torsion. This is usually caused because of a frontal frontal imbalance, right? So I made lots of videos about this. It's just kind of a brief overview of why you may be suffering when you squat and when you deadlift, right? You either have no curve, too much curve, or torsion. That's the first layer of strength, neuromuscular. Physiologically, right? Now you might be wondering, like, how do my organs, how do my hormones, how does my digestive system impact my low back muscles, right? How is it that how could you possibly have low back pain because of digestive issues? So I've used this term before. It sounds fancy, but it really isn't if you break it down. It's called visceral somatic inhibition. This essentially means that your muscular system will be inhibited by viscera, or organs that are inflamed, that are pissed off, and your organs can become inflamed and pissed off and angry and irritated due to different lifestyle habits, right? Stress is probably the biggest one, but eating foods that you're intolerant to or foods that just don't agree with your body. The easiest example I can give with regard to visceral somatic inhibition is when someone's having a heart attack. What happens? Like they say, your left arm goes numb. What does that have to do with anything, right? You're having a heart attack, your left arm goes numb. My left arm isn't my heart. This is why people piss me off. They like to attack my ideas about the body being a holistic unit. And then ignore little enigmas, right? Wonder why. But they brush that off as just like, weird science. Left arm goes numb when you have a heart attack. That's because the organ and the muscular system are tied together, right? And guess what ties it together? The nervous system. Guess what the nervous system is tied to? Your central nervous system, right? Peripheral nervous system out here, arm and heart, to the central nervous system, right? Up into the brain. Guess what we do in our brain? We think. So, is it that wild to consider that your thoughts are fucking up your organ and fucking up your muscles? Not so, right? It's all integrated, folks. So, visceral somatic inhibition creates a situation in your low back region when there is inflammation in your gut, your stomach, your lower intestines, your gut. So you either are eating foods that irritate the gut lining, and this is true because you feel bloated, or you fart a lot, things of that nature. The muscles that are tied to the gut are your deep abdominal walls. They're muscles that strengthen your abdominals. If you have weak abdominals, you have a weak belt, weight belt, if you will, right? Because what's on the opposite side of those muscles that are inhibited? Your low back muscles. So if your abdominal muscles aren't working, guess who's going to have to pick up the pain? Who's going to pick up the brunt of the work? Back there. So you eat shitty food and you injure your back. Right? How could this all be tied together? Doesn't make any sense. Elliott's a quack. Eat shitty food, shut off your abdominal muscles via visceral somatic inhibition. Your low back's gonna pick up the brunt of the work and you're gonna have back pain. Right? Doesn't take a genius to figure this shit out. A lot of this stuff is well documented. I spit at you guys in these videos like free from textbooks and studies in my hands because I'm too busy trying to share ideas with you than to be sifting through and creating PowerPoint presentations. You wouldn't watch that shit anyway because it's fucking boring. But if I say something that sounds quacky, go take a look. Go look it up. I give you references all the time. Right? And then finally, the third layer of strength associated with pain, physical pain, is what's going on in our brain. Right? I call this energetic strength. So essentially, psychological stress contributes to your low back pain. Now, without going into deep detail there, I will just offer a really good resource for you, a man by the name of John Sarno, MD. Right? He's written several books on hundreds of studies that he's done where in his university laboratory, right? He's one of those guys. MD, I believe he was the head of the physical therapy department in the medical school at NYU. Check him out, John Sarno, MD. Hundreds of patients that were healed of back pain by reducing the stress in their lives. And it's not even reducing the stress, because we all have stress, there's always extrinsic shit going on, but how you perceive, your perception of that stress, and how you deal with stress. That's really the issue. Stress is not the issue, it's how you're dealing with the stress. By dealing with people on that level, right, the psychological level, he's helping people heal their low back. He's got at least 4 books on the topic. So that's it, just things to consider. When you have low back pain, it's not that you have a a deficiency in aspirin, right? Doesn't mean that you're designed in such a way, you know, God destroyed my body with these genetics and now I'm cursed to have back pain just like my daddy did and my granddaddy did. All that's bullshit. Take responsibility, folks. That's really what this is all about. I give you ideas that can support you in exploring further, and that way you can add to your experience. And as you experience, you gain wisdom. There's no better knowledge than self-knowledge. I can't teach you anything that you don't already know, but I can point you in directions that will support you. I hope this was helpful. I'm done.
Yo, Elliot,